Let's talk about the president's letter to Aljezeera. So the president caused a letter to be written to Aljezeera to ask them to pull down a particular documentary they did which implicated the presidency. So folks, this is the letter from the presidency to Aljezeera, and they are simply asking the Qatar-based news network to pull down the documentary that implicated the president. Before we talk about the letter, let's look at what led us to this stage. So, Aljezeera Matthias is a Canadian citizen. He's been in Ghana for a very long time. In 2014, he was arrested for duping by the Muhammad administration for duping a fellow businessman. Now, the lawyer who represented him is none other than our own Supreme Court Judge, Yoni Kolindi. Now, if you know the relationship between President Akuffo-Addo'S and Yoni, it's like a father and son, because the president has always boasted of how he nurtured Yoni and then the current, Attorney General Godfrey Dame at his chambers, and so now this Aljezeera Matthias was filmed by Aljezeera undercover investigators, and he boasted how he's been able to smuggle out 40 million worth of gold out of Ghana every month. And he also claims that the president is his good friend and lawyer, and that he's been helping politicians to steal money and lodge it in bank accounts in Dubai. And he claims that what he does is that sometimes that the current government gave him $100 million contract, and at the end of the day he sold it and sold it for 80 million, and the 20 million he kept 50 million for those who did the deal for him and spent the 5 million. Now, so when Aljezeera contacted the presidency, according to them, the president said he does not remember acting as a lawyer for Aljezeera Matthias. I repeat, he does not remember acting as a lawyer for Aljezeera Matthias. Now, I'm a student of critical discourse analysis. I've taken the course and I know. Now, when somebody tells you that I do not remember being a friend to somebody, clearly he's not denying that the person could be a friend. He's not denying. Because to have to cast doubt on your own conviction shows that you have something to do with the guy. You see? Now, people have heard Paul Adumochiri and others coming to defend that since the president became Attorney General Akuffo, he's never practiced law. Yes, that may be true, but it's not entirely true because he still remains a board, a managing member of Akuffo-Addo'S Co., which he co-founded. So, and if you know how the legal profession works, I might have a case, and because I'm president, I can instruct the person to go to Yoni Kolonde because Yoni Kolonde was once stated under me to become the lawyer he is. So if I approach you for help and you refer me to go to this guy, this is my boy, go to him, he will handle the case for you. That guy handled the case does not make him it doesn't negate the fact that you the one who referred me, I can still refer to you as my lawyer because you are the first, you are senior to the other guy. And you and I are close from what the guy said. You see? So these are the issues. Let's watch the video of Aljezeera Matthijs detailing how he does his business. And then when we come back, we'll talk more.
It's largely tenders, construction, roads, procurement, supplying different things, oil, this stuff. There, all the politicians get taken care of indirectly, which is what allows me to do all my other stuff freely.
So the government contracts is the way you reward the politicians, basically.
So what happens? The government will give me a contract. There's a lot of commissions involved. You want a commission, you want a commission.
Commissions in international laws of anti-corruption is basically synonymous with bribery. So when it says commissions, I hear bribes.
I'm the second oldest. See, if you're a politician and you do a contract, you're not going to tell the whole world you're getting 10%. No one can know. But you trust me, so you say, I'm going to keep it with you.
Matthijs acts as a bank for corrupt leaders.
I earn the commission for them. Then it's a matter of they tell me, okay, pay that, move it here, move there. So for example, Ghana government, Matthijs Holding, I get the contract. I subcontract it to you. $100 million contract. Ghana government pays me $100 million. I give it to you and you say it's $80 million.
The contract is inflated $20 million above its real cost.
If I have an agreement with that, then you get 15. So now probably $5 million.
Matthijs banks the $15 million for the corrupt politicians until they need it.
It's like all of it at once. And wherever they want it, sub me as that's how I do it.
Okay, so you have heard from the horse's own mouth. That's the Aljezeera Matthijs you just heard explaining how he does his business. He's implicated so many leaders across the continent, from Zimbabwe to Uganda to where. And those countries, as we speak, the pastor who was fingered in the Zambian case, his diplomatic passport has been seized from him, and the government is keeping tabs on him. You see? So, in our case, what our president chose to do is to write a letter to Aljezeera demanding that they apologize to the presidency and pull down the said video. Now, let's look at this. Does it make sense to do this? Absolutely not. And I'm surprised with all the seasoned lawyers in the presidency, none of them is wise enough to know that Aljezeera follows journalistic standards strictly in coming out with the documentary. One, in the practice of journalism, once a person has been fingered in an investigative report, the rules of natural justice must be followed, which means letting the person be heard to explain his side. This is why they came to our president to ask him, have you been a lawyer and a friend to Aljezeera Matthijs? Our president says, I can't recollect. And the Aljezeera, what they did, they went back to include that in the documentary. So they have given you a voice to explain yourself. So what have they done wrong that you write to them to pull down the documentary? It doesn't make sense. If you are bent on clearing your name, you sue the person who mentioned your name in there. Because Aljezeera Matthijs made it clear that our president is his friend and lawyer. Now you claim you don't recollect, and yet you have friends who are connected to you who became lawyer for the gentleman when he was arrested in 2014. Today you have rewarded Yoni Kolende with a Supreme Court announcement. Now if you tie all this in with the Frimpong Boateng expose, where he details names of high-profile government officials at the presidency who are complicit in the illegal gold business. And the fact that this report laid on the president's table for 2 good years, it shows you that the president has more to answer than just fronting and pretending to be chasing Aljezeera to pull that. They won't pull it down today, and they will not pull it down tomorrow. And if you go to any court, Aljezeera will walk free. What you can do if the president is convinced that he has no dealings with Aljezeera Matthijs as he claims, is to sue Aljezeera Matthijs. He still has businesses in Ghana. Sue him and say you claim I'm your friend and lawyer and that I have given you a government contract. You are asking Aljezeera to produce evidence. They didn't ask the guy to run verbal diarrhea. So that's not their business there. You want your name because you're the one who mentioned your name. You see? And Martin Amidu has also waded into the argument. So Martin wrote a lengthy piece and John News summarized it in this form. And this is what Martin had to say. He said, look, the president, he has a penchant for following crooks. And that the president did not even deny that Aljezeera Matthijs is his friend. So he knows what he's doing. So government should not throw dust into our eyes and pretend that all is well. All is not well. This letter amounts in much ado about nothing. And we need to get serious in this country because all this money, imagine 40 million being smuggled monthly. This guy doesn't pay taxes. And we have heard all this, and all government is interested in writing letters and asking them to pull down a documentary. What sense is there? All right, so this is I'll leave you to decide, but the youth must rise up. Our leaders are taking us for granted because this is unacceptable. So leave your comments and please remember to hit the subscribe button so when I come up with another video you see. Shalom, peace, and life to all of us.